Monologues. Why am I here? It's funny. Been out here for 3 years and I never thought I'd have to answer that question. But since you're asking, I'm here for my family. My wife. My 2 boys. Now, they deserve a better upbringing than I had, and you know they're not going to get that here in Cuba. And I know all this work is going to be worth it. If giving them a better life means me working in these mountains for a few years, chopping down trees with an axe for 15 hours a day, then let's get to work. And I know I'm not crazy, because there are 59 other men in this house who feel the same exact way. I know it's rough. Knowing that I can only see my family once a month kills me every day. And knowing that my wife is being punished, being forced to work on a farm 5 hours away from me. And our kids. Our kids don't have parents right now, and it's up to my mother to tell them why mommy and daddy aren't home. But nothing's going to stop us from getting to America. Nothing. Not this dictator, not this government. Not these military men with their guns pointed at us. Nothing will stop me. Because soon enough, we'll be in America. My family will be free.
Eight hours, 24 minutes, and 13 seconds ago, I arrived here in Somalia, Africa. 5 hours, 12 minutes, and 24 seconds ago, I realized that people here are deprived of fresh air. Fresh air. The air is still here. The stench of people who deserve a proper burial linger here. 3 hours, 19 minutes, and 17 seconds ago, I realized and I complained about the packaged food I'd be receiving. And it's so ironic because exactly 2 hours, 5 minutes, and 6 seconds ago, I saw a little boy searching through garbage heaps of chicken carcass and tomato peels. And I asked myself, dear boy, where's your mother? And I considered sneaking him a drink of water. Those black gems seemed to stare into my eyes for an eternity of suffering. 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 9 seconds ago, I realized I could never, ever kill another human being. Even though I could load and reload an ML6 rifle with my eyes closed. 13 minutes and 2 seconds ago, I grew homesick. But I'm so proud to be serving my country, and I count every millisecond until I'm able to go home. And I've learned time is such a precious thing. So could you tell me how long we're here for? For my mother, Julie Courtney.
Mom, a distant learner. She's a distant learner. What do I do? The doctor said she would be fine, but I didn't think her disability would start showing now. Don't get me wrong, she's smart, but when we try to teach her, she just looks at us like we're stupid. When we take her to church, she's amazing. I'm just scared for her. I know I shouldn't be, but Mom, you know that's how I am. I'm just scared for her. What if she can't make friends? Mom, help. I don't want her to be alone. I'm just scared. Do you think she'll be good at school? Oh, what am I kidding? That's so far away. I'm just scared for her. I need to stop being scared. It's hard because she's my daughter, and I love her. From my mother.
Do you know what it's like to have your teen years stolen from you? Do you know how it feels to live in fear and anger during what's supposed to be the prime of your life? I do. But my fear and anger had names, like weight, doctors, high school, chronic illness, but most importantly, Crohn's disease. It's funny. I still remember how it all started. I was sitting in civics class. My stomach started to ache. I felt a lot like I had the flu. I got to stay a few days out of school. No big deal.
Do you know what it's like to feel helpless? Do you know what it's like to stay up all night worrying, not even for yourself, but for someone else? I do. His name is Caleb. He's my son. When he was in high school, he was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, and at that moment, my heart, it sank into my stomach. I didn't even know what Crohn's disease was. I had to educate myself all about it, and it was then that I realized that doctors, pills, and treatment would be an issue, but swallowing the fact that my son would have a chronic illness was more difficult.
Do you know how it feels to feel like the flu? You have the flu every single day of the year. Do you know what it's like to lose so much weight your mom could count your ribs? Do you know how it feels to get a colonoscopy at the age 15? I do. And it makes you feel a whole lot older than 15. When I was sick, I spent a lot of time playing 20 questions with myself. What's wrong with me? Why am I so skinny? When will I feel better? I could end it all right now and feel better. But should I? Would it kill the kids at school to stop calling me names and just ask how my day was? It's crazy how different it is. From going from making fun of people with your friends to being the one made fun of. And I wish I would have spent more time hanging out with my friends and going to parties than scheduling doctor's appointments. And I wish I would have had one other girl, other than my mom, tell me it would be okay. Looking back, I realized Xbox was a better drug for my Friday nights. Maybe getting sick saved my heart from something it couldn't handle. But it still wasn't fair.
Do you know how it feels to have to give your son medication that could potentially do more harm than good? But he has to have it regardless. Do you know how it feels knowing that your son has an easier time talking through an Xbox to someone halfway across the world rather than talking to you? I do. And it makes you wonder where you went wrong as a parent, I'll tell you that much. I spent a lot of time praying instead of sleeping. Call me crazy, but I trusted that God would help me even if the doctors wouldn't. And yes, of course I prayed about my financial problems and finding the right doctors, but what Caleb didn't realize is I prayed a lot about how he felt emotionally too. I knew he was sad. I knew that high schoolers were cruel. I experienced it firsthand. That's why it killed me when he would just come home and lock himself in his room. I just wanted him to talk to me. I wish he would have let me help him. He was just a kid. It wasn't fair.
Do you know what it's like to get 12 inches of your small intestine removed. It's scary. And the aftermath is just as bad.
Do you know what it's like waiting for your son to have 12 inches of his small intestine removed? It's nerve-wracking. There's a ton of other families waiting for the exact same thing. Different reasons, of course, but it's scary. Sooner or later, we became the last family waiting, and we were called into a conference room with the doctor. It was such a relief when he explained to us that he removed a lot of dead and infected regions of his small intestine. But it was a slap to the face when he said he couldn't get it all.
I guess I was still a little angry about that. But I had been angry for a long time. I was on the road to recovery. I was starting to feel better, regardless of how much the doctor could or couldn't remove. I had forgotten what it was like to feel better.
I guess I was upset that I knew that Caleb would still be struggling. But he began to look better, to feel better. And it was then that I realized that my prayers were answered. And in a way, I was right. The doctors could only do so much physically. But God, He did so much more than that. For my mother, Victoria, and for my brother, Caleb.